All right, I'm going to start this meeting, and let everybody know this meeting's being recorded. This is the joint meeting of the DPW Subcommittee and Town Council, Thursday, January 26th, the Veterans Room. Call to order. Councilor Marquetti is here. Councilor Steves.
Present.
Councilor Dow.
Present.
Citizen Member Lazo.
Present.
Citizen Member Splain.
Present.
All right, everyone's here. Agenda item number 3, consider and approve joint DPW Town Council meeting minutes of January 4th, 2023. Everybody get a copy of it?
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
I'll abstain. I wasn't here.
All right.
Yeah, the only minor thing I saw was Roland Meyer Shelter in general.
Oh, okay. I'll fix that.
And Stephen Williams has two. Sophie Williams, sorry.
Or just write my name.
All right, all those in favor? Thank you. Agenda item number 4, citizens forum. Any citizens out there have anything they want to speak about tonight?
Can we get an update on the construction supervisor's position?
All right.
You've been advertised, you're doing interviews.
Okay. Anything else?
That's my only question.
All right. When Tom Randall, if he comes in, we'll ask him. All right, agenda item.
Wait a minute,
oh, go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Chair, I'll give you an update that I got today. Nobody's here. I got an update that they're waiting to start interviewing individuals, setting up those dates. I thought they were doing it this week. It's changed, so it's probably gonna happen next week. And that was the information I just received today.
Do we know why it's been changed?
Well, from my understanding was that they have 14 applicants. They've asked some individuals to take a look at the applicants before they start the interview process. And I believe that started working on today.
All right,
I
thank you.
can give an update on that if that's for you.
Okay, go
So,
ahead.
we're currently scheduling interviews.
All right. Thank you. All right, agenda item number 5, review, discuss the town manager's appointment of Richard Benoit as DPW director for a 3-year term, effective immediately through June 30th, 2026, pending the successful completion of pre-employment physical, background screening, and state ethics. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for confirmation.
Motion moved. Second.
All right, the town manager is not here?
So I can speak on it. Bush Jackson,
Okay.
Deputy Director.
Thank you.
We interviewed Mr. Benoit. He has a very similar background to me, where he was in the 4 years as the DPW Director in Connecticut. He's also worked for RH White doing gas lines, so he did some underground work. He's also worked for a lot of paving companies, so he's done a lot of paving work, so he's going to make a perfect fit for this job. And the committee that interviewed him highly recommends him.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Council Steve?
Yeah, reading through your resume and such, I did see that your focus is on roads, which is good, we need that. Do you have any experience when it comes to sewer and water?
That's the one limitation that I don't have.
Okay.
No experience with sewer and water.
Do you have any comments on that, Chad?
No, because I work in Star Vision, we have a similar setup here with managers like Steve and Jim Merchant. They're excellent managers, and you don't really need knowledge of the process of what they're doing, as long as we have good managers there. I happen to have that when I was a servant, but that was kind of wasn't really required.
Okay.
But I think it'll be fine. We have 2 excellent managers running the system down, and they'll pick it up.
And we do, yeah. Okay.
You all set?
At the moment?
Anyone else have any questions? Mr. Splain?
I was wondering if we can find out what his reason was for leaving his job as the director in Thompson.
Absolutely.
Mr. Benoit, if you want to come up here. Come on up.
Where would you like me?
You can sit anywhere. Sit right there. Nice to meet you.
You as well. So, COVID was basically the main reason for leaving my position in Thompson.
After working very diligently for the first 2.5 years to try to rebuild the program, establish a safety program, purchase new equipment, establish a road program, and pretty much redesign the highway department so it actually functioned properly, all, while maintaining equitability to the town. People stopped going to work every day, and they started staying at home. And that became a very large issue because they then realized all of the things that had not been happening over the years in town. It very quickly became a problem to myself and my family because we live in Thompson. We own a house in Thompson. We've been there for 7 years now and grew up in the area, so I know an awful lot of people. It got to the point where I couldn't go anywhere, so I couldn't leave my house, I couldn't go, the town has a transfer station where we get rid of our trash, so I'd have to go there on the weekends. That was a 3-hour adventure. Could not go out to dinner without going to like Worcester or someplace further, so I didn't run into anybody. And the pressure just became too much, and it started affecting my kids, and my wife basically said that we were either gonna have to move or I was gonna leave my job, so. I like my house, so I left my job.
That's a good excuse. Yeah.
Counselor Lozey, Steve, you have anything?
Nope.
Counselor Dow?
No.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
So based on what you have heard from the manager, from Butch, from people in our department, what would you say your first priorities would be in line?
Well, my first priority coming into the town would be to just kind of get my feet wet as far as getting to know the town itself. I mean, I'm familiar with Southbridge. I grew up in Woodstock. I've been back and forth throughout my entire life in Southbridge, through Southbridge, done business here for many different things. But, I want to know the limits of the town. I want to, talk with the people that have worked in the DPW and find out, what projects have been, what's ongoing, what the direction that things have been going in, where maybe things need to change, what type of shape the Public Works Department is in.
Okay.
Maybe try to, I'm not the type of person that's gonna come in and gonna change everything. But I wanna come in and just kind of steer it where I think it should be. I like organization, I like things to be clean, I like things to be done right the first time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, that would be my first thing, would just kind of get the lay of the land, get to know the people, get to know, how things have been working, where some of those things might fail. Or, maybe they're not gonna fail, maybe they're on a good track. It seems like from the conversations that we've had in my interviews, there's been a lot of changes in town as far as, public
Absolutely.
Works, infrastructure improvements, and so on, so. Seems like things are moving, so I'd like to try to keep that going and try to make it better if I can.
That would be helpful. And also, I don't know if you mentioned to the manager, if you had a chance to talk about this, that we have a rail trail project coming up. Do you have any experience doing that?
Yes, we have the airline trail in town of Thompson, so I think we had 11 miles. So as a cooperative approach with Connecticut DEP and the town of Thompson, the town had established a trails committee to help to maintain and improve and so on and so forth. DPW did assist in that. DEP kind of laid the groundwork for it and did a lot of the excavation stuff for it and such, and it's continuously growing.
Right.
They're continuing to improve upon it. They're bringing a lot of historical aspects back to it, and I think that that's important. Especially, we did discuss this and also in my interview because. This is Southbridge has always been kind of a popular area, populated. You have a nice urban area here. But I think that might actually grow over time because now Worcester is becoming a little bit more of a focal point in the state of Massachusetts. So we're going to see a lot of influx. All of the local communities are going to start to see more of that. People coming from the city, further close to Boston or whatever. They want those things. They want parks, they want trails, they want places that they can bring their kids, walk their dogs and stuff like that. So it's important to be prepared for that and to work, continuously work on those things.
Okay. And I guess the last question I have is that one of the things that we recently approved is seeking grant money to do culverts, to do a project to basically map all our culverts and take a look at what we need as far as stormwater goes. What kind of background do you have when it comes to dealing with stormwater?
So I dealt with MS4 in Thompson.
That's good.
Because of we had two rivers running through town. So we were actually in the process when I was there of doing a lot of our mapping, doing our outfalls, our most important ones, and then setting up our wet weather and dry weather testing of those sites and such. And we had an engineering firm that was assisting us with that, plus our wetlands department was assisting with that. So it was in the making. We were permitted through DEP for the MS4. We did the annual and the quarterly reports and stuff for it. But it was still a work in progress, and that was one of the things that was discussed here, was that it's kind of a work in progress here.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Very,
Absolutely.
very much so,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's probably at an earlier stage than Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, before I go, Mr. Town Manager, go ahead.
One of the things I just wanted to bring up, I did talk to Mr. Benoit about something near and dear to especially Mr. Splain's heart, is the road openings and the lack of follow through on that. And I don't know if you wanted to talk about that, because you and I did talk about that, and it was something you dealt with in your past. So it's something that interests this committee. So if you want to share with them what you told me, what your policy was on that.
So one of the things that was mentioned to me, I believe yesterday, was something about the Main Street project with some late season paving, cold weather was put down at, and the way it was put to me was perhaps the contractor was hoping maybe that the town would shut them down and not let them do it or what have you, which it's their name on the line, but I'm a big fan of not running past, the end of October for paving, for one thing. Second off, doing in the contracts for the paving, when it goes to bid, have a listing in there for weather caveats. So, obviously in October, you can have days that are 40 degrees and rising. If the ultimate temperature for the day isn't gonna be over 50 degrees, you shouldn't be paving. You're not gonna get longevity out of the product. I'm a huge paving fan, a huge road person. I've gone to a lot of classes, I've had a lot of experience in it, and I don't like to do it wrong. And I don't like to see anybody else do it wrong, because I know how much money it costs on both sides. I've worked on all sides of the fence. I've worked with paving companies. Right now I'm a superintendent for a large paving company. I've worked on the municipal side of things. I've worked on the state side of things. I've basically seen it from every angle. And I've seen the strong points and I've seen the weak points. And I'm very particular about having it done correctly, because I know for a fact, where every penny goes and how much it all costs. And I want to see longevity. Obviously, every road is different. Your pavement thicknesses might vary depending on the road, the traffic, the weights, and so on and so forth. But you need to be, if you're going to invest the money to fix the roads, you need to be able to explain to your town folk that we're spending this money because we want to see 15 or 20 years out of this road.
Yep.
And we're going to set up a paving preservation program to try to continue that wear surface for years further, so we're not going right to the bottom again, or what have you.
Right.
And so, I would definitely like to look at, how the contracts are put out for the paving projects, and see if there's things that we can add in there to further protect us from having to deal with situations like that. Because I don't like to open up a freshly paved road. That's the worst thing in my book. I don't like it at all. Also, putting stipulations on things. I don't know if there's something in like the town policies or whatever about utility digs after a road gets paved.
There's supposed to be, I want to say it's every 3 years?
The problem is,
There
that's
is.
one,
There is.
Unless it's an emergency.
one at a time.
Yeah, emergencies you can't get
Can't
away
help it.
from.
That is one of the things that we are going to be going through. We're trying to toughen up our policy on trenching, because we've had a lot of trenching problems this last year. Contractors opening up trenches, sometimes not covering them. We've had problems with paving, contractors paving late, or not paving at all, making a lot of ditches and leaving it. It's really been a mess, so that's probably one of those things that we're gonna ask you to look at, we're also looking at hiring a construction inspector.
Right.
We're gonna want someone who can go out there and watch these, because there's been no oversight the last couple of years,
So they get
and therefore we have had a lot of problems. So that's one of the things that we're gonna be asking that you get involved in, hiring this person and toughening up our policies, and maybe even creating a bylaw. That's something that we looked at, but we really didn't get into the bylaw part of it. I'm gonna let Mr. Splain ask a question.
I have a question for you, Mr. Benoit. You were in a public sector for, I don't know, 4 years, just over, 4 years in Thompson. And now you're in private.
Yes.
Why do you want to come back to public?
Boredom. The short answer to the short explanation to that, the short answer would be, so I worked for, most people would know it as All States Asphalt, All States Materials Group. I work for All States Construction, so it's a subsidiary. So they hired me as a superintendent. So I run around, I do all kinds of babysitting jobs. You know, I'm there because I know how the processes are, I know how it works, I know how to fix things if they break, or if somebody's doing something wrong, I can correct it. That's my job. I put 35,000 miles on a half-ton Chevy pickup truck this last paving season, driving all over New England doing these things. And my job is to sit in the truck and watch people work.
Exciting.
I don't like to sit around. I enjoyed working public works. I really did enjoy my job in Thompson. It was a very hard thing for me to walk away from. I didn't quit. I gave a 30-day notice in writing. I served out the 30 days. I did my work right up until my last day. I don't like to leave things untied or untouched. I like to make sure that things are finished off, so whoever's going to take over can hopefully maybe carry on with whatever I've been working on, or at least be successful with it, because I don't want to see my work fail. But yes, so boredom. I don't like, this is a place that I feel like I fit in, Public Works, because it is a broad arrangement of responsibilities. There is always something that needs to get fixed, and my biggest thrill in life really is to solve problems.
The other thing that, I'm sure you have experience doing budgets. When you were in Thompson, you did a lot of budgets.
Yes.
Did a lot of capital planning.
Yes.
You did all that kind of stuff, so that's good. You had some experience with the transfer station. We've been looking at possibly adding a transfer station. We're not at the stage yet, but we're thinking about adding one. We're coming up on the end of our curbside garbage collection, so that's something we're gonna have to be looking at.
That would be something that we're gonna have to look into a little bit closer. The recycling and the refuse market is kind of a strange place right now. I personally feel that a lot of communities are gonna end up getting pushed to single stream. So you're gonna be basically stuck with a roadside service.
We have that.
Right, you have that now, but I think that this is just my feeling on it, just from dealing with things. I think that the future for recycling and refuse is single stream, and that is, everything is gonna go into a container. It's gonna get sorted. The companies, the haulers and the sorting, those companies that handle the refuse, they will make the money off of the recycling products, whatever is worth money for recycling and so on. And that's how they're gonna keep themselves afloat in business with the changing tides of the economy and stuff. So before spending a large sum of money on looking into building a transfer station, we're gonna have to do a little research on where that market is going.
All right,
Because
fair
we might
enough.
spend some money that we really maybe shoot ourselves in the foot 10 years too soon, or whatever it be.
Okay.
So, but
All right, Mr. Lazo.
I just have one question. Do you hold any licenses like drain layers, Class A license, B license?
I have a Class B.
You have a Class B?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have anything like a drain layers license or a hoisting license?
No, I don't.
I know it's not required, but
I
I'm just
spoke
asking.
this morning to Michael about it, and in Connecticut, you don't need it. I am very familiar with running all different types of equipment. I've just never had to have a hoisting license or anything like that, and it's
Okay.
nothing to get. So if I am coming to work here, it's something that I will definitely add to my my to-do list to get, just so that I do have it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I open it up to the residents if they want to ask anything. Maureen?
Hi, I'm Maureen Doyle. I'm on the Conservation Commission, so I was very glad to hear about the MS4, what you said about MS4. And I'm from a large Benoit family in town, so it's nice to see another Benoit. You'll see my great-grandfather's picture, Pierre Benoit, at the entrance to the DPW.
Okay. I knew there was a Benoit family in South.
There is two, actually, but.
Yeah.
Two, actually, yeah.
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 None of us know each other, but.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know we're all
4 or 5
Benoits
generations are probably all
and
related.
Yeah,
It's
somewhere.
like, no, we're not related. But
Anybody else have anything? Okay, if there's no other questions, then we'll have a vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? 3-2, passes. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion.
All those in favor? Thank you.